you at that point, if you were sending words, you know, they weren't even having to figure it's this one.
Oh, wow.
Different signal
He could
flags.
write all the, say
Yeah.
whatever he had to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they used the lanterns too, Morse code with the signal lanterns up into the sky.
Nice.
Well, that was so
something
you
I should learn.
you could keep radio silence.
Right.
When you're in a convoy, you didn't want to broadcast and
True.
let the Germans figure out where you were. You did you do some convoys in the North Atlantic in the Coast Guard?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah.
Boy,
And yeah, miserable weather.
I'll bet. That's
Yeah.
right. You keep going in this kind of stuff. I read a book a little while ago. It was written by a German U-boat commander.
Oh yeah.
It's very interesting to read it
I'll
because
bet.
at first, you know, they were killing, you know, they were sinking all kinds of ships.
Yeah.
But once the U.S. broke their code and figured out how to sail in convoys, he said 9 out of 10 U-boats were sunk. And the guys,
9 out of
9 out of 10. Yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah.
a real
It was a death sentence pretty much to go out of those things. Yeah.
boy.
Now that was later in the war. That was
Yeah.
probably 43 and 44 and all that.
Yeah.
Still, it was.
Yeah. We used to sail in that in that part of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was a lot of convoy traffic on the East Coast.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over to England, carrying all the support for England. Yeah. Oh boy, you know, you think about what the people your age went through at that time.
All there were lots of convoys.
Yeah.
And they all had, there was always one ship in charge,
Yeah.
and they had an officer on board who was in charge of the whole
Yeah.
operation.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes he'd be on our on the
Oh,
ship
yeah.
I was on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he was usually a Navy man.
Right.
Yeah. And
Well, that was tough work because you knew you were a target for all of the submarines and
but we never. I don't know that we ever got fired apart.
Oh really? Oh yeah.
We might have. I can't be.
Yeah.
Well, we can make it sound good.
Yeah. Well, they were always firing at the cargo ships, weren't they? I mean,
Yeah.
that's who they
that's
were trying to sink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were often. We were like the important ship on a convoy
Oh yeah.
crossing, and we'd have the man in charge.
The fleet officer or fleet commander.
He would be on our ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And made you the flagship of the. Well, I guess in convoy, I don't know if they use that term, but if it were all combat ships, they would call it the flagship, I guess.
But somehow he was the guy in charge
Yeah.
of the convoy, and
Yeah.
he was on our ship. But he was always up in the wheelhouse, you know.
Sure.
And so.
So he would give the orders, and then you'd have to relay them to all the other ships.
I don't have any vivid memory of doing that, but it's probably true.
That would sound like that because you would do it all by signal flags and lights. You
and
never
light,
used-
yeah.
Never use radio for all that. And you were zigzagging all the time.
I think quite a lot of the time.
That was a common.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But it wasn't very tough duty.
No. Well, no, probably not. But it was always had that, I suppose, a certain element of risk. You knew you were potentially a target.
was necessary, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, ultimately, that's what won the war. All of the material the U.S. sent over to Europe.
Yeah. But and there was quite a lot of submarine activity, I'd say.
Yeah.
They were knocking them off. You know.
That's what you say. Later on, it got to be very dangerous for the submarines, the U-boats.
And but those cargo ships that were carrying materials back and forth, and yeah. Well, they had